Welcome to the Purple Jaguar. And it is Thursday, and in memory of when I cared. So, what that means is we are going to go into our odds. So, every Thursday, we're going to try to pick 3 to 4 games that we really, really like as far as betting is going, and the point spread and the competition. And then I'm going to give you some games that we need to avoid. Now, I'm not an expert. I would not claim to be an expert. Vegas does what they do. They seem to make out pretty well. And so these are the best I can come up with. But the 3 games this week that I'll be betting when it's illegal. I mean, Kentucky, we're still waiting until September 28th, but it will be legal, and I will be betting games like these moving forward. Right now, I'm doing practice, so we'll see what happens. But the 3 games that I'm looking at is Giants, Arizona. Right now, Giants are giving up 4.5 points. Now, that can be intimidating because they just played the Cowboys and looked lost and looked like a high school team playing an NFL team. I understand that. But the Arizona Cardinals are literally playing games for the future. I don't think that they anticipate even winning games right now. They have Joshua Dobbs as their starting quarterback. They have no skill players that I know the names of, except for James Conner, who was good for a year. So I looked for the Giants to bounce back. Brian Dable won Coach of the Year last year for a reason, and I think they're going to bounce back harshly. I would not be surprised if they score 28, 31 points and only allow 10 points by the Cardinals, which would be a 21 point spread, which would cover the line. So right now it's a negative 4.5 line. If you were to lock that in, I think it might go up. I wouldn't even be surprised to see it around 6.5 by Sunday, but right now you can get it for minus 4.5. So that's the first game I'm going to go with. Second game, I like the Chiefs to cover 3.5 points against the Jaguars. I believe that the Chiefs will be at full strength now, and so that means Travis Kelsey will be back. We know Chris Jones just signed a new contract for a year, so he'll be back, and I think they'll be playing for kind of a redemption style way because of the way they looked against the Detroit Lions. And so I really like the Chiefs to bounce back and win by 7 to 10 points against the Jaguars at the Jaguar Stadium. I think Trevor Lawrence does have a interception problem that he might throw a couple balls up. The Chiefs might get a couple picks on defense, and their offense should be at full strength. I feel like there's a lot that they want to prove, especially Kadarius Toney after all of his drops and the wide receiver core looking like they didn't know what to do when the ball was thrown to them. I like the Chiefs to run the ball a little bit more behind that offensive line, get some more continuity, bounce back, get back into their winning ways. They are the defending reigning champs. And so I believe they're going to look like that on Sunday, and they're going to not, I wouldn't say blow out, but I would say they're going to at least win by 7 to 10 points, and it's not going to be as close as the score might look at the end. So unless there's a late touchdown that brings them within that 3.5, which is a scary bet line because a field goal or a touchdown one way or the other could cause you to maybe lose this bet. But I really do believe the Chiefs are going to win by 7 to 10 points. And so I'm confident in this one. The Colts up against the Texans. They're giving the Colts a point and a half. I don't know why they're giving the Colts a point and a half when they played a pretty solid game against the Jaguars last week. And if it weren't for Anthony Richardson playing his 14th game in college or pros, I think they could have been a lot more competitive in that game. There were some bad mistakes, but overall, the offense moved the ball. The defense played inspired, and I believe that's going to continue. I don't think the Colts are trying to tank. I believe they're actually playing real football that they really believe they can win, and that this Anthony Richardson kid is he's something special. I really believe he's going to take another step, and the more playing time he gets, the better he's going to get. And he's such a raw talent that I think by the end of the year they could be a team that you're not sneezing at. You're going to take them seriously. So I like the Colts getting a point and a half. Now, with every time we talk about bets that are good or that I like or the odds or the points, I want to talk about a few games that I would stay the hell away from. And I mean this Absolutely. The Jets versus the Cowboys. The Cowboys are coming off of a dominant performance against the Giants at the Giants. Now the Jets are coming in. They have a backup quarterback in Zach Wilson. No one believes in him. That's fine. But I can tell you what the Cowboys didn't have to do. They did not have to play offense last week. And we don't know what that offense is going to really look like under Mike McCarthy. But it's going to be tested by the Jets defense, which is a top three defense in the league. It's like if you like the Cowboys as the number one defense, then I like the Jets as the number two. And so it's going to be a defensive battle, and that is way too many points to be giving up in a defensive battle. Let's, for instance, say that Zach Wilson throws one pick, okay? And Dak Prescott throws one pick. Those will even out. I really believe this could be a 10-7, 17-10 kind of game. And there's not going to be enough points scored for a 9.5 spread. And so I would really stay away from this game. I hesitate. I mean, if you're going to take anybody in this game and you just want a game, I take the Jets and the points. 9.5 points. I don't foresee the Cowboys blowing them out like they did at the Giants. But we could see. I mean, for the Cowboys' sake, I hope they don't blow them out again because then they're going to be on their high horses, and you know how the Cowboys cowboy by the end of the year, they'll cowboy. So, another game to stay away from: Browns and Steelers. Now the line is, I think the Steelers are giving up 3.5 points. I think, but the reason I don't like this game is because we saw the Steelers run into a buzzsaw, which was the 49ers, the first game of the season. So we really don't know what the Steelers' offense is going to look like. Kenny Pickett looked like he was lost in that game, but the 49ers are another top-tier defense that's always been a good defense. And under Kyle Shanahan, their offense is just a well-oiled engine. It's just they're going to score points. And so it's really hard to tell what the Steelers are going to be throughout the year based off of that game. Same goes for the Browns. The Browns historically whoop the crap out of the Bengals. I don't know what it is. I don't know if this is the defensive line. It was raining that day, 24-3, but Deshaun Watson really didn't have to do much as far as throwing the ball. He didn't look great. He was kind of throwing it into the ground. He looked rusty still. And so I would not be putting money on a game that I really don't know what these teams are going to end up being by halfway through the year. We know that the NFC North or the AFC North is going to be a tough division. And so these games do matter, but to put money down on a game where I don't really know the identity or where either of these teams are going to go as far as their trajectory, I would be hesitant to do so. And the same goes for the other AFC North game. I would just stay away from the AFC North this weekend because division games are already hard to call because typically the teams play each other differently than they do the rest of the league. But the Ravens-Bengals. So the Ravens are coming off an ugly win, if there is one, a such thing, an ugly win against the Texans, 25-9, where they lost their starting running back and two tackles, the left and the right tackle. So, and Lamar Jackson didn't particularly look that well throwing the ball. Threw one interception, no touchdowns, and Odell Beckham Jr. was not on the field for most of the game, I guess. I don't know. But the Bengals as well only scored 3 points. Joe Burrow attempted to throw the ball 30 times, did not get over 100 yards. Now, it was in a rainstorm. So I look for them to bounce back from that. But again, it's one of those games where it's too early in the season to really know the trajectory of either team. And we know the Ravens always are riddled with injuries, and we don't know the effect of those injuries from week to week. And so I would say to just stay away from this game. Watch it, enjoy it, see kind of how it plays out, and it'll tell you a little bit more about that team moving forward. But I would not put any money on this game. So my games this week that I'm putting money on is I like the Giants to cover their spread at 4.5. I like the Chiefs to cover their spread at 3.5. And I like the Colts, who are getting 1.5 points. Those are my 3 games. If you like them, bet them. If not, we'll see. I'll be keeping track, and then we'll kind of go over it at the first podcast of the week, and then we'll have a new set of bets for the following week. But I like to be quick, concise, give you some information, give you something to munch on. But other than that, that's all I have for this Thursday odds. And thank you for listening. This is the Purple Jaguar.